A little bit about the problem that you had and why you chose physiotherapy.
I've had I was going to say long standing, that's probably inappropriate. I've had a problem with a knee resulting from a sports injury, and in true kind of bloke fashion that I managed to ignore it by taking ibuprofen when necessary and expecting it to get better by itself, which of course it didn't, and just basically deteriorated over the years. A friend of mine, which had come here, and so therefore was able to talk from first-hand knowledge, encouraged me to come, and as it's kind of literally on my doorstep, I plucked up the male courage to come along and find out what it was all about.
Yeah, are you glad you did?
Oh, certainly, yeah. Yes. The condition would have only deteriorated had I left it, and since, along with everybody else, I'm not getting any younger, and mobility can become a bit more of a challenge as you get older anyway. The last thing I wanted to do was to really find myself being unable to do the things I want to do.
So, had you had experience with physiotherapy before?
No, none whatsoever really. I had a basic first aid knowledge through going to sports injury courses. So I kind of had a rough handle on what the condition was and what physiotherapy was all around, but no first-hand experience of it. No.
Okay, so then for the most part you didn't know what to expect. So when you first came in, what were the therapist team like?
They were very, first of all, they were very personable, very friendly, and very keen to find out, first of all, what the issues were, the physical issues, and then the kind of underlying, if you like, the secondary issues, in as much as, well, what problems is this presenting to you in ordinary everyday life, and what my kind of aims and key performance indicators would be, if you wish.
So an all-round approach.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Okay. So then, what was it actually like in the treatment room when you'd got onto a plan?
Well, I had the assessment first of all, which then clearly mapped out just the extent to which, in my case, it was a hamstring related issue, just exactly how out of true my body was, so that along with the kind of day-to-day incremental improvements that I could make, it could also be measured as well, so that each of the physiotherapists be able to say, well, you've gone from this to that, and it's a nice milepost that they were able to kind of present to me, apart from me feeling just generally that I was making progress. Yeah.
Did you feel immediate benefits, or was it a process that it took a few visits?
I, even after the initial assessment and the initial kind of first treatment in which the extent of my problem was assessed, I could really feel that yes, there's what, and it was also explained to me what the problems were as well, so that but I think most importantly, it was explained to me that yes, we can do something about this, so that I mean, I knew it was kind of in my head, I knew it would be worthwhile, but actually just having the professionals say to you, well, this is what we can do, this is what we can't do, and so laying out clear expectations for you was very immensely helpful. Yeah.
That gave you comfort and it gave you faith.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Coupled with sort of parallel exercises which I could do at home with little or no equipment, I wasn't going to have to sort of lay out for specialist mats or pieces of apparatus. They just weren't necessary. They were all designed around, first of all, the condition, and secondly, just my kind of normal way of life. So yeah, it was very streamlined.
Mm. It's interesting you mentioned about the exercises. How did you find the exercises?
I found them, they were within my compass. In other words, the first ones I were given were fairly gentle, if you wish, to begin with, because I am short of walking. I don't routinely do exercises in terms of going to the gym or working out or anything such as that. So they were incrementally more difficult, which is what I would have expected them to be, but they weren't increased until each physiotherapist was satisfied that I was ready to actually approach them. And of course, I wasn't just left to my own devices. I was shown them and walked through them to make sure they were within my capabilities. And then the next session, then retested to review and see if they were okay. In one instance, I sort of said, I think this is going to be a bit difficult for me, and we explored why. And so that was removed from the program rather than putting me through something with which might potentially have knocked my confidence. So yeah, it was a very kind of hands-on procedure.
So implying that you felt listened to and understood.
Oh yes, utterly, yeah.
Yeah, good. That's a nice approach. So we've spoken about treatment, exercises, therapists, and the actual treatment room. What about the administration staff, the team on reception? How did they make you feel?
Oh, they're excellent, really good. I mean, right in the middle of the sessions, our monarch passes away, so therefore one of my appointments, along with many people, that had to get abandoned, but was very quickly and very efficiently reorganised. And that was no. They've been very welcoming, finding out a little bit about you, but without being intrusive and just being friendly, basically. Yeah.
What's the one thing, the best thing that you've enjoyed with coming to see us?
The best thing, and take this in the way it's intended, is leaving knowing that I've actually made progress from when I last came. So it's walking away thinking, yes, I've overcome another hurdle, or that's something that's now attainable to me. So that would be the big takeaway.
An improvement.
Oh yes, utterly, yeah.
Where are you going from here now, Russ? What's your next step?
My next step is I've been presented with a range of different membership options, and also there are related exercise classes which I'm looking at. I'm kind of drawn towards possibly the Pilates one, which will kind of reinforce what I've been doing and help me strengthen the related muscle areas as well. So that's what I'm looking at, but I wasn't kind of pressured into having to make a decision, if you like. It's just good to know that there's support, and also I realise myself that I need to have some form of maintenance, otherwise there is a possibility that I could just relapse back into the condition that I had before I started coming for the physiotherapy.
So it's a much more consistent approach now for years to come. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, rather than it's an ongoing program. Whether that's a combination of coming to WDC and doing it myself, continuing on with the exercises at home. What it isn't is me just closing a chapter and then just moving on, or not moving on, according to the according to how the condition fares over the years. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's a bold approach, and quite bold to admit that as well. If you were going to recommend us to a friend, a passerby for the most part, who was skeptical of physiotherapy, maybe Pilates, things like that, what would you say to them?
I would say that they were asking possibly the most dubious and sceptical person they could meet, actually, which is me. So therefore, for me to be able to say that it would be of benefit for you at least to check it out. I think I'm not given to fads, if you like, and people, and I come with a fairly cynical mindset at the best of times anyway. So if I give an endorsement to something, then I'd like to think people appreciate that it's sincere.
Yeah, well, we certainly hope so as well. And just to really appreciate you doing this for us, Russ. Just to finish off, are you happy?
Yes, I could go as far to say I'm happier, which is, the possibly the best kind of outcome. Um, there are certain just domestic situations that I now approach, such as getting up and down stairs, which I do without having to think, how am I going to do this without causing myself discomfort. And it's a confidence thing as much as anything else, as well as being a physical thing.
And I like that you've increased your confidence as well. It's nice to hear.
Yeah, it's yes, it certainly is. It's an equal measure of both the physical and the kind of well-being.
Yeah, absolutely. Total approach. Thanks very much, Russ. We really, really want to keep you because you're very much an ambassador for us, and we really appreciate you putting in the hard work.
Many thanks.
Bless you.
Thank you.